I, 58M, need to get this off my chest because my entire family is currently imploding and I'm being called everything from petty to cruel to unforgiving. But let me tell you the whole story, and you can judge for yourself. The betrayal. 17 years ago, I came home early from a business trip. I was supposed to be gone until Friday, but the conference ended a day early. I was excited to surprise my wife Linda and our daughter Emma, who was 11 at the time. I pulled into the driveway at 2 p.m. on Thursday and saw a car I didn't recognize. Nice car. BMW. Walked into my house and found my wife in bed with my business partner, Richard. Not just any business partner. The man I'd started my company with 8 years earlier. The man who was Emma's godfather. The man who came to our house for Sunday dinners. The man I'd considered my best friend for over a decade. The confrontation was ugly. Linda cried, begged for forgiveness, said it had only happened a few times. Richard just stood there, barely making eye contact. I kicked him out of my house and my business within 24 hours. Linda begged me to stay. For Emma's sake, she said. We could work through this. But I couldn't. The trust was obliterated. Every time I looked at her, all I saw was betrayal. We divorced within a year. It was brutal. She fought for everything, the house, majority custody, a massive alimony payment. She got it all. The aftermath. Emma was 12 when the divorce finalized. Old enough to understand what had happened, but Linda had gotten to her first. She told Emma that Daddy was being unreasonable and couldn't forgive a simple mistake, that I was abandoning the family over something that didn't even mean anything. She painted me as the villain for leaving instead of working on the marriage. Richard, meanwhile, waited exactly 6 months after the divorce was finalized before he and Linda went public with their relationship. Convenient timing. They got married 2 years later. I wasn't invited. Emma was the flower girl. I tried to maintain a relationship with Emma. I really did. But Linda made it difficult. She had primary custody. Emma stayed with me every other weekend and Wednesday nights. Linda would schedule Emma's activities during my weekends. Oh, Emma has a birthday party she can't miss. Emma has a dance recital. Emma's friends are having a sleepover. Always something. When Emma was with me, she was distant. Polite but cold. Like she was counting down the hours until she could go back to Mom and Richard's house. The house that used to be mine. Richard apparently played the fun stepdad role perfectly. Took Emma shopping, went to all her school events, helped her with homework, bought her a car when she turned 16. All the things I wanted to do but couldn't because I was relegated to every other weekend dad. By the time Emma was in high school, our relationship was hollow. We'd have dinner, watch a movie, make small talk. But there was no real connection. She called him Dad Richard and me Father. That should have told me everything. The college years. Emma went to college across the country. Stanford. Full ride for academics. I was so proud. Called her to congratulate her. She thanked me politely and said Richard had helped her with the application essays. Of course he had. I sent her care packages. Money for textbooks. Called every week. She'd answer maybe half the time, our conversations lasting 5 minutes before she'd say she had to go. Meanwhile, her Instagram was full of photos of her and Linda. Her and Richard. Family dinner with my parents, the captions would say. Not my mom and stepdad. My parents. I stopped looking at her social media after that. When she graduated, I flew out for the ceremony. Sat in the audience alone while Linda and Richard sat together in the family section. Emma barely acknowledged me at the reception. Took one photo with me because I asked. Spent the rest of the time with them. I flew home that night and cried on the plane. My daughter was gone. Had been gone for years, really. But that was the moment I fully accepted it. The engagement. 6 months ago, Emma called. Father, I'm engaged. That's wonderful, honey. Congratulations. His name is Marcus. We met at work. He's amazing. You'll love him. I'd love to meet him. We're planning an engagement party next month. I'll send you the details. She did. I went. Met Marcus. Nice guy, software engineer, clearly loved Emma. I spent most of the party being ignored while Richard gave a toast about watching Emma grow into an amazing woman and how proud he was of the person she'd become. I left early. No one noticed. The wedding conversation. 2 months ago, Emma called about wedding planning. The wedding's in June. I wanted to talk to you about your role. Of course, whatever you need. So, I've been thinking about who's going to walk me down the aisle. My heart jumped. Finally, this was my moment. The father-daughter moment I'd been waiting for since she was born. I'd be honored, Emma. Silence. Actually, I've decided Richard should do it. The words hit me like a physical blow. Richard. Yes, he's been there for all the important moments. My high school graduation, college move-in, every dance recital and soccer game. It just makes sense. Emma, I'm your father. I know, and you'll still be there. I'm not excluding you. You're excluding me from walking you down the aisle. I'm choosing the person who was actually present in my life. That stung. I was present as much as your mother allowed me to be. Here we go again, she sighed. Can't you just be happy for me without making it about the divorce? This isn't about the divorce. This is about me being your father. Richard is my father in every way that matters. Richard slept with your mother while she was married to me. He destroyed our family. That's ancient history. And honestly, Mom's happier now. I'm happier now. Maybe if you'd been a better husband, she wouldn't have needed to look elsewhere. Couldn't breathe. Emma, that's not fair. I have to go. I'll send you the invitation. You can come or not. Your choice. She hung up. The invitation. The invitation arrived 2 weeks later. Expensive cardstock. Embossed lettering. My name alone, not and guest. Linda got to bring Richard, obviously. They were hosting, after all. But I couldn't bring anyone. The wedding party list was printed inside. Maid of honor, Emma's best friend from college. Best man, Marcus's brother. And there, under special guests, Richard Morrison, guest of honor, father of the bride. Father of the bride. I stared at those words for 20 minutes. Then I called Emma. Why is Richard listed as father of the bride? Because that's what he is. No, Emma. I'm your father. Biologically. Legally. Actually. And Richard is the one who raised me. Who was there. Who cared. I cared. Every other weekend doesn't count, father. Richard showed up. You didn't. Your mother made it impossible. Oh my God. Stop blaming Mom for everything. You chose to leave. You chose your pride over your family. Those are your choices. Now live with them. Emma, please, don't do this. Don't make him the father of the bride. It's already done. The programs are printed. The invitations are sent. He's walking me down the aisle and giving the father-daughter speech at the reception. So what am I supposed to do? You can come and support me, or you can stay home. Either way, Richard is guest of honor. And if I don't come? She laughed. Actually laughed. Then I guess you'll have proven my point about not being there when it matters. But hey, we'll live stream it. You can watch from home if you're feeling too insecure to attend. Insecure. My own daughter called me insecure for not wanting to watch another man play father at her wedding. That's fine, I said calmly. I'll figure it out. Great. See you at the wedding. Or not. Click. The decision. I sat with it for 3 days. Turned it over in my head from every angle. I could go to the wedding. Sit quietly in the audience while Richard walked my daughter down the aisle. While he gave the toast. While he danced the father-daughter dance. I could watch the man who helped destroy my marriage receive all the honors that should have been mine. Or I could do something else. I called my lawyer. The trust fund. Here's something Emma never knew. When she was born, I set up a trust fund for her. Put money in it every month for 28 years. Made it grow through smart investments. Current value, $847,000. The agreement was that she'd get access when she turned 30, or when she got married, whichever came first. The trust was in my name. I was the sole trustee. It was my money set aside for her with conditions I controlled. One of those conditions. I could revoke it at any time before she received it if I deemed the circumstances appropriate. I'd never planned to use that clause. The money was for Emma, always had been. But that was before she erased me from her wedding. Before she gave my role to the man who betrayed me. Can I dissolve the trust? I asked my lawyer. Legally, yes. You have full discretion as trustee. And the money? Goes back to you. It was never legally hers until the conditions were met. Do it. Are you sure? This is a significant decision. I'm sure. Draw up the paperwork. He did. I signed it 3 days before Emma's wedding. Then I sent her an email. The email. Emma, after much consideration, I've decided not to attend your wedding. You're right, watching from home will be more comfortable for everyone. I want you to know that I've always loved you and wanted the best for you. When you were born, I established a trust fund to help you start your adult life. I've contributed to it faithfully for 28 years. As of today, that trust fund, valued at $847,000, has been dissolved. The money has been returned to my accounts. This wasn't an easy decision, but you've made it clear that Richard is your father in all the ways that matter. So it seems appropriate that he should also take on the financial responsibilities that come with that role. The wedding, the down payment on your first house, the future grandchildren's education, all the things I was planning to help with, those can now be Richard's gifts to you, since he's the father of the bride. I wish you and Marcus every happiness. Your father, David. I hit send at 11 p.m. on Wednesday. The wedding was Saturday. The response. My phone started ringing at 6 a.m. Thursday morning. Linda. I didn't answer. Richard. Blocked. Emma. I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail was 3 minutes of her screaming. How dare you? You're punishing me for choosing Richard? That money was mine. You can't just take it away. Delete. Next voicemail. From Linda. You are a cruel, vindictive man. That money was for Emma's future. How can you do this to your own daughter? Delete. Text from Emma. You're blackmailing me. This is financial abuse. Text from Richard. This is low even for you. She's your daughter. Text from Linda. We're getting a lawyer. You can't do this. I turned my phone off. My lawyer had already confirmed. I could absolutely do this. The money was mine. The trust was discretionary. Emma had no legal claim to it. Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, my phone had 47 missed calls. I turned it back on long enough to send one text to Emma. This is not blackmail. The money was a gift I intended to give. Gifts can be revoked before they're received. You've made your choice about who your father is. I'm respecting that choice and its implications. Enjoy your wedding. Then I blocked everyone and went to my brother's lake house for the weekend. The wedding day, I didn't watch the live stream. I went fishing. My brother came with me, didn't ask questions, just sat in the boat and let me be quiet. Around the time Emma was probably walking down the aisle, I caught a base. Around the time Richard was probably giving his speech, I was grilling steaks. Around the time the father-daughter dance was probably happening, I was sitting on the dock with a beer, watching the sunset. I felt nothing, no anger, no sadness, just empty. I came home Monday, turned my phone back on. 127 messages. Most from Emma, Linda, and Richard. Increasingly frantic as the weekend went on. But also messages from other people. Apparently, word had spread at the wedding about what I'd done. Some family members were horrified. How could you do that to Emma on her wedding day? Others were quietly supportive. My brother told me later that our mom had said, Richard wants to be the father? Let him pay for it like one. Emma's best friend texted me. I don't know the whole story, but Emma's been sobbing since Thursday. Whatever happened, maybe you two should talk. Emma's new husband Marcus texted. I don't know you well, but this seems harsh. Emma's devastated. And one text from someone I didn't expect. Richard, you made your point. Please reconsider. Emma needs that money. Needs it. Not deserves it. Not it's hers. Needs it. The confrontation. Emma showed up at my house on Tuesday. She looked terrible. I swollen from crying. still in casual clothes, probably hadn't changed since the wedding. "We need to talk." I let her in. We sat in the living room, the same room where I used to read her bedtime stories when she was little. "You ruined my wedding," she said. "Did I?" "From what I heard, it was beautiful. Richard walked you down the aisle, gave a great speech. Everything went according to plan. Everyone was talking about what you did, whispering, asking if it was true that you disowned me. I didn't disown you. I dissolved a trust fund. That money was mine. No, it was mine. Set aside for you conditionally. The conditions weren't met." "What conditions?" "I got married. That was the trigger. The condition was that I was your father. Not just genetically. Actually, in the ways that matter, as you put it." She stared at me. "You chose Richard as your father. I respect that choice. But fathers provide for their children. So now Richard can provide for you. He doesn't have that kind of money. Then maybe you shouldn't have given him my role." Emma started crying. "You're punishing me for loving Richard." "I'm not punishing you. I'm accepting your decision. You don't get to replace me in all the emotional, meaningful ways and still expect me to fulfill the financial obligations. That's not fair." "What's not fair?" I said, my voice rising for the first time. "Is spending 17 years watching another man be your father. What's not fair is being reduced to every other weekend while he got every day. What's not fair is being called father like a title instead of dad, like a relationship." She flinched. "What's not fair is working 3 jobs after the divorce to pay your mother's alimony and child support while watching her and Richard live in my house. What's not fair is putting money aside for you every month while barely affording my own rent." "I didn't know." "Because you never asked. You never once asked what the divorce cost me, what fighting for more custody cost me, what losing you cost me." I was standing now, years of pain pouring out. "You want to know why I wasn't at every recital and soccer game? Because your mother scheduled them during my weekends and then told you I didn't care enough to show up. You want to know why I didn't help with college applications? Because every time I offered, you said Richard was already helping." Emma was sobbing. "I have loved you every single day of your life. I have fought for you, provided for you, saved for you. And you thanked me by giving my place at your wedding to the man who destroyed my marriage. He didn't destroy it. Mom made a choice. They both made a choice. And you rewarded him for it. You made him guest of honor, father of the bride." My voice cracked. "Do you have any idea what that felt like? Getting that invitation? Seeing those words?" She didn't answer. "I was erased, Emma. Completely erased from the most important day of your life. So yes, I dissolved the trust fund. Because I finally accepted what you've been telling me for years. Richard is your father, not me." "That's not true." "Then why did he walk you down the aisle?" Silence. "Why did he give the speech?" More silence. "Why does your Instagram say, 'my parents' when it's your mom and him?" She looked at the floor. "I thought he was my dad too," she whispered. "For so long, I had both. I had you every other weekend and him every day. I thought I had 2 dads. But you didn't treat us the same. Because he was there more. Because your mother made sure of it. And instead of seeing that, you blamed me for it." She wiped her eyes. "I don't know how to fix this. I don't think you can. The money. This isn't about the money, Emma. It never was. This is about you finally experiencing a consequence for your choices. That's cruel." "No. What's cruel is watching your child choose someone else and being expected to smile and pay for it. The aftermath part 2. Emma left without another word. I haven't heard from her since. Linda sent a text. "You are a disgusting human being. Emma is your daughter." I replied, "Richard is her father. Ask the wedding programs." Richard sent another message. "We need to talk about making this right." I replied, "There's nothing to make right. Emma made her choice. I made mine. We're done. My family is split. My mother thinks I went too far. She's young. She doesn't understand what she did. My brother thinks I did the right thing. Actions have consequences. She's 28, not 8. My ex-sister-in-law, Linda's sister, who I was always close with, called me. I'm sorry for all of it. Linda's been rewriting history for years. Emma doesn't know the truth about what really happened. The truth comes out. Apparently, during the wedding weekend drama, Linda's sister got drunk and told Emma the real story. The affair wasn't a few times. It was 18 months. Richard didn't wait until after the divorce to be with Linda. He'd been with her the whole time, just secretly. The reason I had to fight so hard for custody wasn't because I was abandoning the family. It was because Linda lied to the mediator and said I was unstable and potentially dangerous. She'd poisoned Emma against me from the beginning because it was easier than admitting what she'd done. Emma apparently didn't take this well. From what I heard, through the family grapevine, she confronted Linda. Big fight. Emma's been staying with friends. She also confronted Richard. Demanded to know if it was true that he'd been having an affair the whole time. He admitted it. Emma called off their Sunday dinners. And last night I got a text. Emma, can we talk, please? I haven't responded yet. Where I stand. Here's the thing everyone doesn't understand. The money wasn't the point. I don't care about the $847,000. Well, I do. But not the way people think. What I care about is 28 years of love and sacrifice being dismissed. Being erased. Being replaced. I spent 17 years being a part-time father because Linda made me one. I spent 17 years watching Richard get the life that should have been mine. I spent 17 years being father instead of dad. And when Emma had the chance to honor that, to acknowledge me in some small way at her wedding, she chose him. She didn't even give me a role. Not a reading. Not a toast. Not a dance. Nothing. I was invited as a guest to my own daughter's wedding. I was invited as a guest to my own daughter's wedding. So I acted like a guest. And guests don't give $847,000 gifts. The money was my last bargaining chip. My last piece of leverage to make Emma see me. To force her to acknowledge that I matter. I didn't want to use it. I wanted her to choose me on her own. But she didn't. So I made a choice too. The question everyone asks. Would you give the money back if Emma apologized? I don't know. Part of me wants to. She's my daughter. I love her. I want her to have that security. But another part of me is so tired. Tired of fighting for scraps of her attention. Tired of competing with Richard for basic acknowledgement. Tired of being the bad guy in a story where I was the victim. Maybe the money stays gone. Maybe that's the consequence she needs to really understand what she did. Or maybe I give it back and we start over. Build something real this time. I honestly don't know. To Emma, if you're reading this, I know you're probably following this story online. People love drama. So here's what I need you to know. I love you. I have always loved you. I will always love you. But love doesn't mean accepting disrespect. It doesn't mean bankrolling people who erase you. You spent years believing a narrative your mother created. I understand that. You were a child. Children believe their parents. But you're not a child anymore. You're 28 years old. You're married. You're an adult. And adults have to face the truth. Even when it's painful. The truth is, I was a good father who got pushed out. Richard was an affair partner who played stepdad. Your mother rewrote history to make herself feel better. None of that is your fault. But choosing Richard for every significant moment of your wedding, that was your choice. And choices have consequences. I'm not your villain. I'm not your ATM. I'm not your backup plan for when Richard can't afford something. I'm your father. And if you want a relationship with me, it has to be real. Not transactional. Not convenient. Real. The money can be negotiated. But my dignity is not for sale. So if you want to talk, really talk, I'm here. But if you just want to negotiate getting the trust fund back, save us both the time. I've spent 17 years accepting crumbs. I'm done now. Update. I responded to Emma's text. We're meeting for coffee on Saturday. I don't know what will happen. Maybe we find a way forward. Maybe we don't. But I know one thing. I'm not apologizing for standing up for myself. Not this time. Not ever again. I'll update after we talk. Edit. For everyone asking, Are you really never giving her the money? I genuinely haven't decided. The point was never to permanently punish her. The point was to make her understand actions have consequences. Do you hate Richard? I did. For years. Now I mostly feel nothing. He's just a man who made selfish choices. He has to live with them. Do you still love Emma? More than anything in the world. That's why this hurts so much. Was it worth it? Ask me after Saturday.